So thank you very much for coming. My name's Kate Berridge and I've been vegan for 41 years. I've been vegetarian since I was 11, that's 46 years ago, and since I was 11 I've been working for animals, and this is the gateway that I came into my spiritual life, through my intense and passionate love for animals. So this is my concepts I'm speaking about today. Some of it might be a bit challenging. I certainly don't want to offend anybody. My attitude to other people is a loving one. So whatever you think of it, just take it as it is, coming from a loving place, please, alright? We all have our own vocabularies, don't we? So I hope I don't offend anybody today, and I'm certainly not intending to. So it's lovely to see you all here. Now, I am a spiritual healer, well, I work as one. I'm an animal whisperer, and I'm a teacher of healing and meditation. And I teach an interpretation of the ancient Celtic spiritual tradition, because I'm part Irish, and also the British Islands. We share the Celtic ancestors in common. And they originally came from the East. So I see myself as a citizen of the world, and I see myself based in my own culture, but loving and open to all cultures. This is the first time I have done a formal talk, so I will be reading to you from my papers, and I hope you'll bear with me. I'm used to doing interactive work with a circle of people. The opportunity to connect with you is precious to me, as for 46 years I have been communicating about and working to improve the plight of animals. My feelings about their inner spiritual beauty and their appalling suffering have set me apart from our so-called culture. This is who, come in if you want, love, from our so-called culture until recently. So I really appreciate being here at Great Yorkshire Vegan Festival and your presence. I will do my best to bring as much insight as the time allows into the subject I have chosen, which is the spiritual consequences for all earthlings of mass animal abuse. Because of the internet, facts about mass animal abuse are easily available for anyone opening their mind to vegan philosophy, a vital subject for the future of all earth dwellers. Facts may help you to decide to be vegan. Oh, more earthlings. Hello. Yeah, we've run out of seats. It's lovely to see you. Do you want to sit on the floor?
If that's
a scooter if you want.
It's alright, you're okay. We'll be alright here for a while, yeah, thank you.
Well, you're very welcome to come and sit on the floor like we were relaxed and we knew each other if you want.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that then.
Come on, rest your bum on the floor down here.
Thank you.
Okay. There are many excellent websites and groups who can provide you with all you wish to know to move towards a diet free of animal suffering if you haven't already. This festival is an excellent opportunity to explore what is happening to animals globally, plus the food, of course, looks absolutely delicious, doesn't it? Facts are useful and powerful, but I am interested in truth. The truth is that we humans are the cause of mass animal abuse. We abuse animals on an unprecedented industrial scale for milk, meat and fish on land and in the waters, for fur, perfume, product testing, sport, entertainment, the pet industry, weapon testing, security forces, fashion, leather and wool, and on our roads, airways and shipping lanes. Add to this holocaust the countless wild creatures whose natural environments we are deliberately destroying for profit, so-called development and farming, or by poisoning the land and the water they rely on. Even the bees and other pollinators upon whom the whole of life rests are disappearing while we pretend all is well because we're worth it. All the creatures we abuse are sensitive beings with souls who feel physical, emotional and mental pain. This is a completely unique time on our planet. Never before has one species been able to dominate and destroy all the other life forms and alter the balance of the earth, who is a living being upon whom all life depends. We have ignored the obvious fact that the Earth's system of balance provides all earthlings with the necessities of existence and the opportunity for growth. As you've chosen to attend this talk, I will assume you are exploring the spiritual aspect of your life. Spirituality can be explained as the compassionate wisdom that comes from and is in harmony with the loving soul or spirit in each one of us. I understand the soul as that part of each living being that comes from a spiritually pure and loving creative source. Human cultures and religions have called this creative force many different names. Most of the names used today and the concept behind them limit our mental, emotional and spiritual perception of divine energy. Over the ages, the concept of our own amazing spiritual potential has been lost to us. I feel this happened when we abandoned the ancient beliefs of worshipping the earth as a manifestation of a generous divine mother. The sun was adored as an aspect of an honourable and reliable father, and we regarded all life forms as close family, springing from these primal feminine and masculine divine energies. Do you want to sit on the floor?
Yeah, all right.
These life-affirming concepts are now regarded as primitive and backwards. Aboriginal people still hold on to their spiritual heritages in many parts of the world, and they live lightly on the earth. Their philosophies have much to teach us, but we are not listening to them. Many times, original people have tried to speak to us all. For example, in 1993, in Cry of the Earth, the original people from what we call America spoke out about the rape of the earth, the murdering of animals, and the younger generation's spiritual deprivation. Not one word of their wisdom was reported at the time by the mass media. I would like to quote one of these wisdoms. It is by Abenaki. To honour and respect means to think of the land, water, plants and animals who live on the earth as having a right equal to our own to be here. We are not the supreme and all-knowing beings living at the top of the pinnacle of evolution, but in fact we are members of the sacred hoop of life, along with the trees and rocks, the animals and birds, and fish and toads, and each fulfills their purpose. They each perform their given task in the sacred hoop, and we have one too. Many of the dominant human religious interpretations of the divine at the moment are of a vengeful God disconnected from nature. The earth and nature are conventionally seen as not divine. This relatively new model of a creator who looks down on all of nature as a lesser realm separates us from the earth, the animals, and our own true spiritually loving selves. The idea of a cruel God who judges, punishes and excludes many people and all animals from his favour has wreaked havoc on the earth through the violence this has caused, because this madness is deeply embedded in our human subconscious. Even among people who call themselves spiritual, the concept of respect or empathy for animal souls is rare. If we believe in our souls, surely our spiritual intentions mean very little if we are actively causing suffering to other sentient life forms. When we moved away from our ancestral understanding of the role of the Divine Mother energy, the consequences were cataclysmic for the earth, animals, and nature-worshipping people. We are now dominated by the unhealthy male energy and have forgotten the naturally protective male warrior, father, loving divine, who was once perceived as in beautiful balance with the life-giving mother. Religions based in judgment, separation and punishment dominate recorded history, and these ideas are everywhere, embedded even in the societies that call themselves secular or who think their morality is free of dogma. I'm not attacking anyone's religion, I'm talking about something underneath. The hatred of the other, i.e. those beyond the right to be respected, is manifested all around us in racism, sexism, homophobia, child abuse, modern slavery, war, exploitation of workers, oppression of the poor and dispossessed, the sick and disabled, and most of all by the Holocaust we are perpetrated on other animals and the precious earth. We are now in an age of life-threatening environmental crisis on a horrific scale, and as a species we are doing our best to ignore and deny the seriousness of the horror we have created. It is serious mental illness to believe we have the right to create hell on earth for our own species, but we have gone even further into insanity by enslaving, torturing and murdering all other living beings on this living planet. We are the bringers of pain and death to animals of all species, either deliberately or by lack of care for the health of the earth. And we are altering the earth's own balance, which we know is causing mass extinction of animals and homelessness and death in less privileged peoples. And our media works to distract us and lie to us. Still, we are not rebelling in our millions as we would if we were truly in touch with our souls beyond this one limited lifetime. Spiritual adoration for nature is not a new concept. It is a very old wisdom that for thousands of years was followed by nature-worshipping cultures in all continents and still exists today. Unfortunately, it is not the belief system that is followed by the so-called developed countries and the massive corporations who together run the human world. Our disconnection has spawned mass animal abuse. The spiritual consequences of mass animal abuse are enormous. We have become monstrous children of the Earth Mother. We are not behaving as fully conscious, responsible adults. We gorge ourselves on the bodies of others and drink the milk of ill, enslaved mothers who are grieving for their own babies torn away from them at birth. Eating animal products is consuming the vibrational energy of terror, violence and death. This diet has been normalised by our habits, traditions, convenience and learned behaviour. Our ancestors lived solely or mainly on plant foods, and this is the healthiest diet for humans. The effort it takes us to deal with the physical symptoms of our unhealthy diets is a waste of our life energy. We could be using our energy to heal ourselves, animals and the earth. We could be transforming ourselves. Our so-called developed culture does not even recognise that we have souls, and yet tells us that we are very special and superior to other animals, and that they and the earth are ours to use and abuse. This arrogance leads to a denial of our own spiritual potential as positive beings with full consciousness. The dependence on animal products from global animal slavery keeps us stupefied with the chemicals fed to those animals, and the chemicals and pain produced in the terror of their deaths. Animal husbandry is inextricably linked to global poverty in a world where there is enough wealth to feed everyone. As a species, we are emotionally and spiritually asleep, using much of our energy to suppress our guilt about what we are doing. We do not know our true selves. The avoidance of human, emotional, mental and physical pain is an obsession for the Western world. This avoidance means we cannot cope with the painful truth about the crisis we have created for animals and the planet. The pure concept of animals as our equals is revolutionary and could eventually heal the crisis we have made. To be the equals of animals, we will have to transform our ideas of who we are and abandon the negative mind state most people live in, that tortured place that is based in fear and limitation. And I will call this the ego, a familiar term for the selfish, limited aspect of the human mind. By behaving like spoiled children and placing ourselves above the earth and animals, we are disabling our own spiritual evolution as a species. And we are also preventing the spiritual evolution of other beings. When survival is threatened and lifespan cut, when they are denied the teaching of older animals, as with all farm beings, animals do not have the opportunity to grow aspects of themselves that their own souls would desire. You may have personally witnessed the unfolding development of a rescued animal once the threat to their survival has been lifted. I have rescued dangerous dogs who have gone on to lovingly foster other animals who in the wild would be their prey. I'm thinking about an Alsatian called Harry who fostered guinea pigs and mice after trying to savage humans and being healed. And he used to hold them under his tummy because I did animal rescue. And I used to think, am I on drugs? Am I really seeing this? These dogs completely transformed their relationships with themselves and others because danger was removed and love and respect were given. If only people would respond so quickly. All over the world, animals have been reported as saving and nurturing animals from other species, amazingly even us. We are preventing other species from fully developing the love within themselves because of our own blindness and because we are not developing the love within ourselves. This childish identification with the ego is everywhere in our grasping selfishness and obsession with disposable material possessions and the concept of power over others. Power over has led to this global crisis. What we need to find again is the concept of power from within. This power comes from our souls and not from our egos. We need to reconnect with our souls in their highest and noblest form and learn unselfishness. Only this shift in consciousness can save the animals from the holocaust of suffering we have made. We are swimming in an ocean of pain from suffering animals and people, pain from the land and from our own crazy negative thought forms. And as we work to shut out the pain, this lowers our sensitivity as a species and also the consciousness of all beings. Our medical experts encourage us to see ourselves as helpless victims of our powerless bodies. Whole industries flourish to feed us the newest fashion diets when we could take control, like adults, and eat the simple plant-based diet that will bring balance back to our bodies and the earth. We also commit violence on our children's souls, minds and hearts when we make them eat animals. We lie to them about the lives of animals and the way the food is produced. The sentient earth is also being suppressed in growth and fulfilment by human thoughts and deeds. The earth has her own soul. She has her own soul's destiny and is already accelerating her own rebalancing. The change is happening in front of our eyes, and all the scientific information we need is readily available to us. Mass animal abuse is manifestly affecting the Earth's ecosystems and the diminishing biodiversity we are witnessing is about to be irreversible. We are forcing the Earth into a near-death experience where she is losing so much of herself, so many of her creatures. These creatures have an integral part to play in the balance of life that is beyond our limited understanding. We will know what unique part they held in the web of life when they are gone. We can't say we didn't realise what has been going on. I am just a working class person from a farming and military family, and this planetary crisis has been openly discussed all my adult life, even in Scunthorpe, where I am from. So we can't say we didn't know. We need to remember who we really are and wake up. We need to reconnect with the divine energy in nature and all living things, including ourselves. A deep connection with all of nature can take away the loneliness and meaninglessness of our Western-dominated, selfish viewpoint. Seeing nature as divine opens up a deeper meaning to our lives and takes us beyond our petty habits based in the ego. We can lift ourselves up mentally, emotionally and spiritually. We can grow into an honourable species. We can free ourselves from the brainwashing we have been mystified by. All we have to do is know our place and see ourselves as part of the whole family of life on Earth. All we have to do is evolve in a harmonious way and allow the other animals to evolve. We can transform ourselves and be proud to facilitate the evolution of other animals as well as our own. Healthy spirituality comes from self-knowledge, courage, compassion, truth, honour and intelligence. A spiritually motivated person does not expect life to be easy, free from pain, or to fit around their self-orientated, egotistical desires. I believe that the natural spiritual role for humans is to manifest our soul's loving abilities and reflect the creative forces we came from. We can now transform ourselves and be the honourable green guardians of the earth. And I believe our highest and most natural calling is to bring love and bliss to other animals, to be their brothers and sisters, to recognise them as our equals with different qualities and powers. They are our spiritual teachers in many ways. The courage with which they endure the suffering we put them through is humbling. The love that animals give to each other is a lesson in love. Watch a group of cows or horses in a field when one of them is sick. They stand by the ill one and they send their love telepathically. They give each other healing. They nurture each other. They have no power to free themselves as we do, and yet they know what love truly is. May the human race wake up to the true light of love in our souls and use it for the liberation of the earth and all animals. May we use our powers of thought to visualise and manifest a positive way of being. May we use our powers of invention to quickly find practical ways of living based in compassion for all beings. Now I'd like to do a short meditation with you, but before that, has anyone got anything burning to say or ask?
Yeah, I'd like to say that. Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't finished yet.
Yeah, what you said was amazing. I just thought it was awesome.
It's nice to feel not like a loony for once. Yeah.